Welcome everybody once again to this best of 3 series between Team Underminer and Execration for the Joint Dota League season number 5. Game number 1 was a pretty long one. I think it was something around 55 minutes, with Execration just being on the back foot, heavily so, 2 racks behind, but getting a couple of few key pickoffs, forcing the buybacks, and then just kind of winning a fight and being able to just go for the Ancient easily after that. But this is a best of 3, as already mentioned, so Team Underminer, they still have a chance to come back into this, and they by no means want to just squander that opportunity, I believe. But in any case, we're HeflaTV, I'm Culture, once again, gonna be joined by Danelie. Do you think this game will go just as long?
I'm not too sure, in all honesty. We'll have to see what kind of heroes that they want to draft, because a lot of the times you can tell how long the game is going to be based on the heroes drafted. But I feel that Underminer, they need to be on the aggression this game. They really have to be aggressive. They have to keep Execration down, take the objectives, move on into their base. Just take what they need and go. They cannot overextend. They cannot afford to get greedy, because we saw last game one little greedy move, just one little greedy move, cost them 2 sets of Raxes. And then the second set of greedy moves cost them the whole game. So I hope Underminer, they learn something from the previous game. They look at Execration, they show them a little bit of respect, and they give them 110% this game. Play very carefully, play methodically, and I can definitely see them winning, because they gave Execration the run for their money. They played incredibly well. It was just a couple of small mistakes, and Execration just capitalized on it time and time again.
So after the end of game 1, what are your thoughts on the Morphling's performance, or how important was the Morphling there?
It was. I feel like the Morphling did contribute quite a bit, just because of the adaptive strikes. Now, this wasn't in the team fights, it was actually the pickoffs when they got them on the anti-mage, on the Troll Warlord, because when they got stuck with the Morphling stun, followed up by a set of Lion stuns, you are stuck there for approximately how long? 4.25 seconds from their Morphling, 4 seconds on the Hex, so that's already 8 seconds, or 8.25. Then you get an extra 2 seconds on, I think it's
Yeah,
like
2.5 even.
2.65. Yeah, it's like 2.5 on the extra stun, so you're stuck there for 10 seconds. And during the 10-second period, you're exposed to every sort of damage, and by that point, nobody would have survived. So I think the Morphling, in a team fight scenario, very minimal impact, but during the pickoffs, very important.
Yeah, you probably have to agree with you there, although it's always scary running a well, support-ish Morphling, I should say. But, well, most offlaners were banned, so they didn't have that many options open, so I think in that regard, it wasn't even that bad. Maybe Wind Ranger could have done a little bit better. Shackle Shot can also be a really long duration disable if it's necessary. Maybe not as reliable though. But looking at this draft here, Troll Warlord once again for Underminer this time around, also having the Vengeful Spirit to help out with minus armor, easy Roshians with that for example. Whereas Lion once again for Execration, but now together with a Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, so interesting decision for Execration to go for a Shadow Fiend. I'm just trying to think, what does a Shadow Fiend provide you if you try and go for the first pick Shadow Fiend? He's normally a mid hero. He can pick a variety of items, so Shadow Fiend, not too bad as a first pick. I have a feeling though Chen's going to be a secondary pickup here for Execration teams. They like to put the Shadow Fiend and the Chen together. I think it's just because of the presence of the Dark Lord. Yeah, so we are going to get a Chen pickup for the Shadow Fiend. But I'm not too, in all honesty, I really want to know why Shadow Fiend and Chen like to be put together. Do you actually know why, Coucher? I see them together all the time.
To be honest, I don't see why you see it together, it's because usually Shadow Fiend wants to flash farm the jungle as well, especially on the Radiant side. Just leaving the 2 camps, the big and the medium one, to the Shadow Fiend is usually like the thing you would want to do. But with the Chen being there, either A, you're gonna slow down the Chen's farm because he only has the 3 other camps to work with, or B, you don't have camps for Shadow Fiend to just flash farm later on. So they're kind of hurting each other a little bit, but then again, Chen getting an early creep, maybe even like a Satyr, or not Satyr, but a Wild Wing Ripper, setting the Tornado into the mid lane, that can help out quite a bit. Or early on, like any creep sent into the mid lane may give Shadow Fiend that advantage. I think that's probably like the best part about the Chen Shadow Fiend combo.
Yeah, don't forget the Harpy, the God-forsaken Harpy, probably the best level 1 creep you can ever ask for during the laning phase. You can just completely zone heroes out with that one creep. It's a complete nightmare. But Team Underminer, though, they're going to secure their second support, the Ancient Apparition. So they've got both supports secured. They've got some decent damage output between the both of them. The ultimate, though, from the Ancient Apparition, though, I have a feeling that Underminer actually wants to go for a couple of mobile/global heroes now to really work with the Ancient Apparition, or they're going to grab someone to synergize with him. Now, one that I'm going to keep in mind is the Faceless Void, Ancient Apparition, and Faceless Void together. That's a nice setup for the Ice Blast, and a lot of the times, anyone caught in the Chronosphere plus the Ice Blast is normally dead, especially if they are the only target in there, because there's no way for them to ever regen. Now, there's also another reason as to why I think Underminer may have picked up the Ancient Apparition is to deter Execration from picking up a Morphling if they want to. AA, one of the best heroes to counter out a Morphling.
It's definitely not bad, and this time around Execration could very well go for that straight out core Morphling as well instead of the offlane one. Last game, the strength morph wasn't that big of a deal, but Execration now, they're like, yeah, screw this, we're gonna go for Phoenix. There is a slight risk that if you get affected by the Ice Blast and you want to use like a Icarus type or Fire Spirits or something, you may lose you're gonna lose some health and you may just put yourself below the thresh mark anyway. Although, if you yourself damage yourself in a way that you're gonna drop below the shatter threshold, is that a deny on yourself then? Or is it that committing suicide?
No. I think Ancient Apparition actually kills you. I'm pretty sure he ticks
I
you
would
out.
hope so, at least. But
my
I
goodness.
think like I've seen some interaction where it was like a suicide committed because of such a thing, but not too many heroes can even do a thing like that. So
Yeah.
this is a game where we might see it happen, but usually if it's like you're under the effects of Ice Blast, you just pop Supernova anyway. Like Icarus dive into Supernova, the best positioning for that one. But Underminer, after the Phoenix, they do go for the Brewmaster now. Although the Brewmaster split doesn't work all that well against Supernova, or not at all, to be honest. So that's like one extra nice thing for Execration, but for now, what do they actually have to deter Underminer from the Supernova?
Well, nothing really. They've only got the Lion Disables to keep Underminer busy while the Supernova
the
eggs
tactic
happening.
is, you pop the Supernova, have the Shadowfin go next to Supernova with a Requiem of Souls. So, if you want to kill the
Unless-
Supernova, you're gonna have to take the Requiem in the face.
Oh, they're gonna pick up a Phantom Assassin though. Execration. Going sorry, Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer. That's the hero's name. It's not female. This is male this time. Too many phantoms this game.
So, Phantom Lancer is actually a hero that I first saw Execration pick up. It was, I think, on the same day or the day after the patch hit. And they did go 2 games in a row, Phantom Lancer, and they built Vanguard first item. Not too sure if he's gonna go for this kind of a route this time around. First of all, it's a different player, ex-Arcanis player Boombax here. So, we'll see what item build they go for. Vanguard wouldn't even be that horrible up against the Brewlings. Just throw Warlord, and even in general, I mean, Battle Trance coming out, it can block quite a bit of damage if necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is an option. I've yet to really see that many Phantom Lancers in the competitive scene. So unfortunately, I can't really lend to you any sort of opinion to the Phantom Lancer. The only thing I really know about him is he's incredibly battle built now. They've changed the Doppel Walk so that it's actually a pretty good aggressive spell nowadays. Do they actually play the Phantom Lancer as a traditional hard carry now, or do they actually play it a little bit more aggressively? Because I personally
more
haven't seen that
aggressively.
many.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I haven't seen the new Phantom Lancer really in action too much in the current meta at all. Teams very rarely pick up Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, I've seen it a moderate amount, like in any scene almost even. Well, I guess American scene is the one that I'm least accustomed with, but in the European one, I definitely see it every now and then. And Phantom Lancer, it's like maybe even straight out first item Diffusal Blade and just go with your illusions. And like you said, the Doppelganger it's such a great escape method these days. In the previous, or with the previous Phantom Lancer, it's like you get the gem, you get the dust or something, and well, he double walks, you just kill him, you get true vision and just easy win almost. But well, definitely wasn't as easy. But these days, Phantom Lancer, you never see Radiance, for example, on him anymore. So it's like Diffusal Blade, Yasha, Manta, and really battle from the super early stages of the game.
Yeah. Well, We'll see how it works out because I'm very interested to see how Phantom Lancer will go up against Underminer's draft. Underminer, they have a very, very early to mid-game draft. If you look at the current heroes, they've got the Ember Spirit to give them late-game presence. They have the Brewmaster for some team fight control, especially during the mid to early phases. And they also have the Troll Warlord who will help out if they require any physical right-clicks. So I feel like Underminer, they've got a pretty well-rounded draft. Execration, again, they're running something different. We'll see if it works for them. Last game, they went for double, it's supposedly double backside ranged heroes, whereas this time they're working with very few disables. So Bok's got to be very careful with the positioning of his Supernova. He cannot afford to put it right in the middle of the fight, maybe on the outskirts, or maybe towards the end of the fight when Underminer is low, because you said Brewmaster can't really hit the egg when he's actually in the split form, but there is still going to be the Battle Trance. That Battle Trance is going to kill the Phoenix unless they can somehow delay them from focusing down the Supernova egg.
Yeah, that's also one of the weirdest things, just going for a Phoenix after a Troll Warlord is already there, but to just go over the lineups now, CK will be handling the Vengeful Spirit for Underminer as they're even going for an aggressive tri-lane with Poise with the Ancient Apparition Cloud on the Troll Warlord once again, leaving Kang on the Ember Spirit this time around, and the last one is going to be JNY on the safe lane Brewmaster.
Absolutely. So on the side of Execration playing on our Lion, we're going to have Chemo. He played Lion last game. We'll see if it works out for him this game as well. We have Primo in the mid lane on the Shadow Fiend. Off lane, we have Bok playing on our Phoenix. Well, that's a coincidence. Bok for chicken. Bok bok. Anyways, in the bottom lane, we have Bombax on our Phantom. Phantom Lancer. And lastly, we have our Chen in the jungle. It's going to be played by Fox. We've got both of these support players on the exact same supports.
I love the sound effects. I love the sound effects. Well done. But at the moment, Ember Spirit might be in some trouble. There is a hero coming in line. Can he get the Hex? Can he get a disable? No, he's not even gonna try. Okay, that was disappointing.
Oh well, that's good news for Kang. He doesn't get picked off, luckily, in the mid lane. He is going to try and throw the Ensnare onto Primo, but it's not going to connect. But this Satyr, it's slowly chewing through Kang's HP. He's got a couple of tangos to work with, so he has a little bit of extra regen to work with until he gets the bottle. And God, that Satyr was so close to actually hitting him again.
Yeah, I thought it hit it as well, but Kang now, he pops the Ember or Flame Guard, but he almost dies anyway. Flame Guard, well, it is level 2. Had it been level 1, he would have died there 100%, but Shadow Razes are probably one of the easier ways in dealing with the Flame Guard.
Yeah, absolutely. The damage burst. Oh no! JNY, our poor Brewmaster turned into a frog. There is going to be a TP in from the Vengeful Spirit. There's a stun thrown onto Chemo. That's a definite kill on the Brewmaster, but can they get the return kill? They will get one onto Chemo, and actually Fox tanking up the tower himself. One more right click. Actually, he's going to need 2 more if CK wants to pick him off, but this Centaur being annoying. Bok's going to keep on chasing. One more right click from the Phoenix will pick him off, though. And actually, the Centaur is blocking the Phoenix. He's trying to juke around Bok. He will get the kill onto the Venge, but he's pretty much going to give his life at this point. This offlane Phoenix, he will die to Boys. I believe actually the Centaur, it's going to block in the AA! Boys, he tried to TP in to help his teammate. Bok is going to self in the tree line. Oh my goodness, 3 dead for UDM. Meanwhile, Kang taking quite a bit of damage in the mid lane, but oh wow, complete disaster in that top lane for Underminer.
Wow, it could have gone worse, to be honest. It could have gone so that Underminer don't get any kills in return, but it was just Execration. They didn't have like a massive burst of damage or anything. Had a moderate amount of sustained damage there. At least they had a Hex with the disable to make it so that Brewmaster can't get the immediate Thunderclap. But in the end, still Execration coming out ahead. The thing though is still that bottom lane Phantom Lancer isn't getting all that much accomplished. It of course can also be said for the Ember Spirit, 4-0 in the mid lane. That's probably as bad as you can see Ember Spirit in the mid lane about 3.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, he's actually having to bottle Crow to survive up against Primo, and that's an issue. This is actually calling Underminer to try and get a gank on Primo on the Shadow Fiend. He's got a double damage rune though, so if they try and jump on him, there is a chance that they could actually lose a couple of their supports. And oh my goodness, Kang dropping low again, 100 HP. Oh, this guy's really struggling.
Vengeful Spirit, oh yeah, he's gonna lose his life in the end. Boombax didn't even have enough mana for a Spirit Lance, but now Cloud, he gets stunned up. There's the War Stomp as well. Do they have enough damage? He's just trying to go for Boombax at least in return, but Not
Oh.
gonna be able to get that last auto attack in. So, what can I say? Execration looking extremely solid at the moment. Even Phoenix getting a reasonable amount of farm now. 10 last hits, 2 denies. Does he have his Tranquil Boots flying out? Nope, not yet. Still pretty low on gold. Oh, never mind, he did have Tranquil Boots. They were waiting on the ground for him.
Oh, he's just doing the Tranquil Boot trick. Just so it doesn't get cancelled when he picks them up again.
It was like, I didn't see them anywhere, but it was just at a
Yeah, I
safe
didn't
position
either.
behind the tower before, which definitely is smart. You do not want to just lose a 1k gold investment by somebody like picking them up or killing them. I've seen too many
It's
Tranquil
happened.
Boots drop like that.
Chemo, they're going to take quite a bit of damage from Cloud, and that's going to be the end of the... Yes, line will go down. They did throw this slow, but Boomback's no mana either, so he might get caught out though. It's just CK on the Venge, but there is a... Actually, the courier's going to come in. What did it bring him? It's his bottle. Luckily for Boombacks, he is going to be able to heal up back to full, have that bottle crow out, and he's pretty much good to go again. He doesn't have to go back to base.
So mid lane, Kang still struggling, although up to 14 last hits all of a sudden, still getting almost doubled by the Shadow Fiend. Top lane, Bok trying to man fight Brewmaster, does have that Supernova if he only had enough mana for it, but Brewmaster wasn't checking for it either. Had he just checked Phoenix's mana, or if he knew by heart how much mana the Supernova requires, maybe could have just stayed around and tried to go for the kill, but Bok will survive for now. But then again, there is a support coming in if Boys wants to come close, which at the moment looks like he just wants to be pulling through and getting XP and gold.
Yeah, he's only a level 3 Ancient Apparition. He's just picked up Boots. So if he wants to try and help the Brewmaster now, he definitely could. But I think for the moment, he's just going to play a little bit more passive. Maybe help out the mid lane and get a kill under Primo. They definitely need to help out the Ember Spirit. He is struggling in the mid lane. And actually, oh, CK got found out. Chemo, nice stun, and the raise followed by Primo. And that's going to be a very dead support on the side of Underminer. Underminer's trying to play aggressive, which I like the decision that they're trying to play aggressive, but it's just not working out. The rotations are getting caught out. They're losing heroes left, right, and center, and it's coming to the point where they're essentially feeding some of these hero kills to Execration. So it's giving Execration extra gold for their core heroes to get their big items, and it's going to come to a point where they're going to reach Kang. He got the rune. That was literally stolen right under Primo's nose. No bottle charge is actually available on the Shadow Fiend, and they are going to get the kill. Great play by Kang. I was going to say something, but I forgot now. I'll let you know when I remember.
Well, just before this happened, they almost got the kill bottom lane as well as Bok. He's dropping low, he has the Supernova, might have to pop it, but wants the Fire Spirits first for sure. Never mind, he's waiting for it, patiently so, now pops it just not to die to Cold Feet. But Boys will not die either. Still, a kill on the core Brewmaster, definitely nice. Phoenix does not get killed himself. But bottom lane, just before, Cloud, he got Phantom Lancer down to 35 HP, almost got the kill as well. Doppelganger came off, cooldown just at the nick of time, or in the nick of time. Otherwise would have been like one more attack going into him. But Boombax now, back on the lane, full bottle, full mana. Well, not full mana anymore after that Spirit Lance, but plenty of mana to just use all of his spells.
Yeah, well, think about it. The PA, though, he is going up against essentially what is a dual lane for the majority of the game, and he is farming okay. Oh, Ember Spirit, they're getting a kill onto the Shadow Fiend, so nice pick up there for Kang. Again, killing off Primo, but that was with help, though. It was with the Ancient Apparition and the Brewmaster, I believe. Yes, there was a Panda Clap. Oh, what kill am I missing out on? Down bottom.
No,
Cloud
no
dropping
kill,
very
although
low.
they came close. It was Phantom Lancer, he used it, Doppelganger. Then Underminer still kept on going, but Vengeful Spirit stunned the Doppelganger illusion instead of the right one.
Oh, no. Oh, it's very hard to tell which is real.
Yeah, I was so sure he's gonna just get the right one as well, because they were all almost next to each other. But Phantom Lancer, he definitely just breathed a sigh of relief after having that stun run into an illusion, I think.
Yeah. Very confident in his play, though, to actually be going that aggressive. There are 3 heroes coming the way. There's the stun. There's going to be the clap coming up from the Panda. Not going to clap it yet, so he's going to wait. Actually doesn't hit the actual Boombacks. And there's going to be the primal split as well. Can they get the kill onto our Phantom Lance? I think they might be able to, so long as they can continue on cancelling out the bottle charges coming out from the Phantom Lance and Boombacks. There's the 1 charges. He is going to be stunned up in the trees, and that's going to be the Panda. That's the duration of the split gone as well, and they didn't even get a kill with that. Oh, very unfortunate for Underminer.
Yeah, so looking at the farm in the meantime on the Gen, for example, oh, whoop, they might be in trouble. They run into Kang Chemo. If only he had a Finger of Death, they might get the kill, but Cloud joins up as well. They're really trying to go for the center stomps. Are you kidding me? Are they really gonna get it? Nope, sleight of fist, all of a sudden he's fine. Gets the flame guard activated and they just lose 2 heroes. They do get one in return now. Primo, is he gonna go down as well? Do we have Supernova? We do. Suddenly Cloud burns down. Kong, can he stay his ground? Nope, dies instead. But Chain White runs into the stun. More centers. Do they have stomps? Not enough mana on one of them. The other one has it, but Brewmaster a little bit too fast. But Bok, he's just going absolute man mode. And in the end, triple kill for a Phoenix. Entire team wipe.
Oh, very unfortunate for Underminer. Well, that's going to be our complete Hand of Midas picked up on the Phoenix. So because of all those kills, he's literally rolling in money. He got 1k for the 3 kills that he got. So this is a very rich Phoenix. We are going to see some very quick items coming out from him. So I'm expecting things like Shiva's Guard, Rod of Atos, just things to really help in the team fights, reduce attack speed so the Supernova Egg is not very vulnerable when going up against these heroes. CK though, kind of just standing there, and well, there was a couple of pings and he's going to realize that he's in trouble, but a little too late for the Venge, and that's going to be a kill onto CK. I'm not too sure what happened there. Maybe he had some ping issues.
Well, he was just admiring the scenery, looking at the trees and everything, and well, suddenly a fiery, angry bird came at him, or her, and suddenly they get the tier 1, and with the Gen army, might very well get the tier 2. Boombacks also made his way there. Oh no, he found a regen rune. He barely escaped a gank by the Ember Spirit and the Troll Warlord bottom lane, I think it was, and found himself a regen rune, just being at like 100 HP or something at it. But this tier 2, even if they don't get it, it's going to be low enough for them to just come finish it at a later time.
All the stun. They're going to be disjointed again by Boombacks. There's going to be the ultimate coming up from the Ancient Apparition. Everyone's low. There's a Primal Split. Who they want to jump on? Looks like they just want to go for an easy kill onto Chemo. Ensnared in place by Kang. There's the Lion down. They're going to throw the Shadow Fiend in the air. There's a dive forward by the Phoenix, and that's going to be a very dead Vengeful Spirit. So the Supernova, no one can really hit it at this point. There's going to be the stun onto JYN. He just came out of the Primal Split. He's going to go down. That's 3 heroes down for Underminer, and they lose their mid T2 tower.
So that fight going pretty bad once again for Underminer. 16 and 9 now, being the kill score there. Shadow Fiend, he's going man to man with Kong once again, but Ember Spirit this time around had a remnant to escape with. So looking at the graphs, it's just steadily going upwards. About a 6k net worth lead now already. XP 3k, which isn't all that much, but Execration, they're just taking fight after fight favorably for themselves. They do see Cloud now as well. Can they catch up Bok? There's the Icarus type, gets the slow, the Fire Spirits are there. And with the Sunray, is it really gonna be enough? Test of Faith didn't roll a high roll, it's only level 1 as well. But in the end, they get the kill. Bok, he's godlike on a Phoenix, 9, 0 and 4.
He's got 2.3k gold as well. This guy can buy anything if he wants to go for it. So we might even see a Radiance Phoenix. Sometimes this is a nice item pickup on the Phoenix. That means that you're going to get more damage over time, even when you're in the Supernova. And it's pretty much going to deter Underminer from trying to hit the egg. But he is going to go back for the Yules. Radiance, it's a very rare pickup. It's a very niche pickup. It doesn't scale too well in the late game. I guess it helps you with your farm. If you need extra magical damage, I guess you could go for that. But nope, just going to go for the standard items. Going to go for the Yules. It's going to be a nice item, actually, to pick up that Yules. It's just an extra disable for Execration, just because they're running a very, very low disable lineup.
Bottom lane though, Chemo almost got the kill on Brewmaster, but not quite enough. Boombacks also stays alive, but Hand of God, of course, didn't help anything thanks to that Frost Blast, or Ice Blast rather, and now they get 1 kill. Chemo should also lose his life. Nice stun, maybe can get JNY, and he kills the Brewmaster. Suddenly, blink forward, they have the Icarus type. Well, Bok, he came at the right timing, just to get the kills there, and the remnant away from the Ember Spirit. So in the end, it's gonna be a 2 for 2.
Yeah, 2 for 2. I'm gonna be honest though, Underminer gonna be happy with that pick. They get the carry Phantom Lancer, but they lose JYN on the Brew, and you gotta keep in mind, every time this Brewmaster dies, yes, he's trying to help his team with the Primal Split, but he needs that Blink Dagger. It's 13 minutes into the game, he's sitting on 5 deaths, 2 assists and 1 kill. So this Blink Dagger, it's not going to be anytime soon. You'd want this Blink Dagger ASAP so that the Panda can play extremely aggressive, but unfortunately the deaths are really hurting him. And oh, there's a beautiful ultimate coming out from Primo. Primal Split came out though, so that's the Shadow Fiend dead. Now the Phoenix Egg, it has been dropped. They already killed Kang though. There's a dive out from the Phoenix. Can they chase after Bok? Looks like they will not be able to. So Panda Spirit's just gonna kind of go for a wander in the river.
So Fox now finally gets the mech finish for himself, as Brewmaster might even be in some trouble. You'll set her up to delay his just run away, and with the Sunray Hex to follow as well. Easy pickings there, so they get another kill. Bok. He is beyond godlike now. 10 kills, 6 assists, 0 deaths. This Phoenix is probably the most farmed Phoenix I've seen this early into the game. And you were mentioning no blink, no item progression, no Brewmaster. That was also a safe lane farming, just 1v1 up against Phoenix. Of course, Phoenix had a hell of a lot more help early on than just getting Phoenix those early kills. But even then, you don't really expect a 1v1 Brewmaster to do this badly.
Yeah, net worth wise though, if you look at his net worth, he is lower in net worth than the Lion on Execration. He's got less net worth than a Lion.
Than anybody on Execration.
Yeah. You're playing a Brewmaster, and I guess he doesn't really need too many items. You still need a Blink Dagger just to help you with mobility, to help you start off with the initiations, because you pick a Brewmaster because he's such a great initiating hero. The split gives you so much utility, but when you can't even get into the middle of the fight, or when you can't even escape potential ganks when you scout them out, what can you really do? So Kang here is going to clear out the creep wave, and there's even going to be the clap as well. JYN, though, he really needs to get the Blink Dagger. They're going to have to put some time into farming him up because he is very much struggling.
He is a little bit closer now. Needs another 400 or so gold. But Execration, they're even smoked up now. They have another Supernova. They have the Yule Sipper Chemo leading the charge. Just wants to get the Hex going and, well, with the Finger of Death, blow somebody up. And that somebody is going to be that poor Brewmaster. Doesn't even have the Primal Split. He's backing himself into a corner. He's just trying to bite for some time, but it's just not going to work out. Although Ice Blast will be a massive success. The mech though came out just before the Ice Blast, so it being a level 1 Ice Blast, not as devastating.
Yeah, there was actually no TP support either from Underminer, so they pretty much left JYN at that point to die. They didn't want to defend him, they didn't want to protect him, they did not want to go for kills. They just want to farm. And they want to farm on their Troll, who was going to go for a BKB as his next item pickup. Oh, the Courier! They spot the Courier! What's on the Courier? Oh, they actually scout out the heroes, I think. They have vision of it, and this Courier is just panicking at this point. It's like, oh, don't kill me, I'm just here to bring items, I don't actually hurt you, I'm sorry. But Phoenix, he will scout out Cloud. Cloud's going to go straight for the TP. There's the Yules to cancel that out. So, well, Yules already paying off, and that's going to be an easy Requiem Assault right on top of the Troll. Kang, though, nearby. I don't think he really should go on these heroes, and rightfully so, he is going to back out and get out to safety.
It's not too often you see somebody else's Yule Scepter setting up the Requiem of Souls there, but Primo, he had his own delivered out during his channeling of the Requiem. Now Kang might be in some trouble if they just get some lockdown, but pops the Flame Guard preemptively, remnants himself away to safety, and well, that's most of what Kang has been forced to do this game, just use Remnant safely. Although, his KDA 6, 2 and 3 doesn't feel like it's been too bad of a game for the Ember Spirit, but those kills have really mostly been like pick-offs at the end of engagements or something like that.
Yeah, he's not really been on the aggressive. He's been playing extremely defensive this game, but, well, they're going to have to. They're on the back foot. They're going to lose their last T2 tower on the map. They've only taken it's just one T1 tower so far on the map, so not a lot of tower gold going in the way of Underminer. They're lacking items. They're really behind. They need to get some pickoffs, but, well, Execration, they've been sticking together. They say, we don't need to separate. We've been winning the fight as long as we stay together. So let's just keep it that way. We do not need to split up. We can just stay together. We fight better. Let's just do it this way.
So Underminer, they are taking a risk by going into Roshan, although Throw Warlord with the help of the Vengeful Spirit should easily get Roshan way after maxed out as well. I thought Execration, they may just push high ground a little bit deeper in, but they're gonna back off, farm the enemy jungle instead, just get easy farm, guaranteed farm while at it. Is there an item that they should be waiting for? Never mind, yeah, I think Chemo, he got his Blink Gold now. That may be one of those items, but then again, Brewmaster also finally does get his own Blink.
Yeah, so finally, poor JYN has managed to pick up his own Blink Dagger. It's not going to drastically change the tides of the fight, but at least he will be able to team fight a lot better for his team. Rather than just going for either the walk-in clap or just going straight for the split, he can go for the blink in, go for the clap right into the split. And from there on, he can pretty much wreak havoc for his team. and they need follow-up. They're still trying to get the Battle Fury on the Ember Spirit. It's very close. It's sitting on 1.9k gold, Perseverance in hand. So this Battle Fury should finish up at about 22 minutes, more or less, depending on how quickly he can find the farm. Troll, though, he's finishing up his BKB in roughly basically it's like 100 gold. So he's very close to that. And I think once those items have been secured on Underminer, maybe they'll be prepared to go for that almighty team fight together. Because a lot of the fights have been happening so far for Underminer, they've been split, they've never been together, they've been picked off one by one. So maybe the battle will change if they fight together on their own terms. Because Execration has been the one to start the fights every time. Execration, they've pretty much written the contract every time, and Underminer, they have to sign it. This time, Underminer, they're going to write their own contract, and Execration, they'll sign it. We'll see how things go for them.
It's definitely going to be easier for Underminer now with the BKB and Troll Warlord, and in general, I think Execration, although yes, they're ahead, they've been getting some really great fights for the past like 15 minutes almost. Well, the entire game, let's put it like that. It's still the Phantom Lancer. He did get shut down early on in the laning phase, didn't get too much farm going for himself, so with that, that's like the one positive that might get Underminer back as well. If this Phantom Lancer had the same amount of farm that Seraphine does now, I think it would be almost GG. But Fox now, he does get his creeps back, but gets hit by the Frost Blast. Goes down Chemo, he does come in with the Blink Hex though. JNY does get swapped out, so he won't go down. But we have a Supernova, which is probably gonna get killed. Way too ambitious there. Primo though does come in, one Shadow Race, does miss. Primal Split comes out, and that's just a horrible fight for Execration to take, I think.
Yeah, Chemo, though, he managed to secure the gem, which was dropped by the Phoenix, so at least they didn't lose too much. There is still the Shadow Fiend, but looks like everyone on Underminer, they're just going to retreat. The Chemo, sorry, that's Primo. He's blinking forward a little bit too aggressive. There are a lot of creeps nearby, but Underminer, they're going to play safe. They got 2 great kills. They got a godlike streak from the Phoenix, plus a bonus in the Chen.
Ancient Operation got 1.6k gold.
1.6k gold.
Well, that's
Holy.
what killing a beyond godlike streak gets you.
Oh my god.
That's like, oh,
the
thanks.
Graphs...
I'm suddenly like more than halfway through my Aghanim Scepter.
The graphs say otherwise, though. If you look at it, it's only dipping slightly because of those kills. Actually, never mind. It's getting a little bit steeper. Yeah, it's getting a little bit steeper. We'll see how it goes a little bit later on. Although Shadow Fiend, he has picked up his own BKB. Ember Spirit, though, his Battle Fury is done. So this cleave, at least Kang's going to be able to do a little bit more damage just with the Sleight of Fists. It's just a little damage boost plus a farm accelerator. So hopefully Kang can get the the Daedalus. He can go for maybe even another Battle Fury if he really wants to. Go for an Eye of Skadi just to have the extra slow to work with as well if anyone gets Sleight of Fisted. So we'll see in what direction Kang wants to go for his next item pickup. But he is slowly but surely escalating in terms of potency.
Yeah, it's in general Underminer, they're just getting the items that they need. Especially should boys really get the Aghanim Scepter completed up. It's gonna be so devastating. It's just gonna make it so that Chen can't heal ever almost during a team fight. He's gonna have to wait for the entirety of the team fight to end and then pop his God of Hand, or Hand of God.
God of Hand.
God of Hand.
What's that? What's that, Coucher? Is that a slap to the face?
Probably so.
It's okay, man. I'm gonna heal you. Smack.
Execration, they're really going higher on boombacks. He takes so much damage from the tower and just Light of Fist Searing Chains combo. That's a sickening amount. Of course, he isn't all that tanky either. Cloud comes in from the side, pops his BKB, wants to go for Bok Bok. Forced to just Icarus dive out and goes for a Supernova, which is so far off. Might still get a stun though, Fox. Is he gonna get the stun? I think so. Cloud was the only one focusing on it. Gets the stun on a couple of heroes, but they just don't have the damage follow-up at all.
The gem's on the ground though, and Chemo again, he's going to actually snag the gem. Nobody on the side of Underminer really going to focus him down, but Shadow Fiend, he was the even bigger target. He's going to drop down. Cloud though, is going to die to the illusions, but doesn't really matter. That was the Aegis bopped. Bok though, he's going to be continued to be chased by these heroes J-Way, and there's the slow, there's going to be the Remnant. Sorry, that's not Remnant, that's the Sleight of Fist. Phoenix is down, Chen's down, Shadow Fiend's down, and the only ones alive, it's going to be Boombacks on the Phantom Lancer and Chemo on the Lion, who's been taking the gem every time in these fights.
Good guy Chemo, just salvaging what can for his team, but all in all, Underminer, they're just taking better fights, although Execration, they probably went a little bit too aggressive there. I don't think they really need to pressure high ground this early on. They still have the Midas running of Phoenix. Just have the Phantom Lancer farm up a little bit more and then go into the fights, for example, or just look for pickoffs, like in the enemy jungle, for example. But they're just getting crushed there are some pretty decent Ice Blast. This time around wasn't all that substantial, but Ember Spirit, he already has a Crystallis after that Battle Fury.
That was so quick as well. That Battle Fury popped up 2 minutes ago, and then all of a sudden we're getting a Crystallis as well. So Kang, he's getting big, but actually it's going to be spotted. But Boombax actually take a lot of damage because that was a very, very, very unfortunate doppelganger by the Phantom Lancer, because Kang, he was midway through cast animation for Sleight of Fist. So Boombox took so much damage from the cleave on all of his illusions. Poor guy is pretty much going to be crying in the fountain. Why did I do that? Why did I do that?
So, Underminer, they're kind of stabilizing it in this game at the moment. XP more or less zeroed out already. Net worth, what used to be 12,000 is down to 6,000 as well. And their Troll and Ember Spirit are just so strong at the moment. We saw Troll Warlord popping his BKB and Execration. There's nothing they can do while his BKB did, in all fairness. Supernova Egg does still stun him, but it's not that long of a disable, in all fairness. It is level 3 now, so it's getting up there, 2.5 seconds, so it's definitely not bad. But Spock, he's gonna have to be so wary of even when he supernovas, because with the battle trance, theoretically it is really easy to still kill it.
Yeah, and as the game goes later and later as well, Underminer, they're just going to have a lot of heroes with high attack speed anyway. So the Phoenix, as the game goes later, the Supernova, it is going to pretty much lose its effectiveness, and well, it's going to be much easier to kill. The stun though, it's still going to be very important because it still pierces BKB, so even though Underminer might have a BKB popped, the Supernova stun still goes through. So that might be a crucial stun, but the thing is though, will it survive during the late game? Very unlikely nowadays.
I also just Shadow Fiend being there on Execration, at least they don't have a Shadow Fiend as a solo core. I've seen it happen a couple of times, and just not having enough late game power. They do have that Phantom Lancer to also follow up and help out, but even then the Shadow Fiend, I mean, early on, yes, it's nice to just blink in, pop the Requiem of Souls or Shadow Races and you kill people, but that also will lose its effectiveness rather fast, or probably has lost most of it. They are eyeing out a couple of heroes as Chemo. Oh, he gets damaged. They get Primo as well, forcing out the BKB, but he still gets bashed down. Even the Hand of God is not enough to keep him alive, or is it? Nope. Sleight of Fist gets the kill. They were just in such a bad position, Execration. They were tempting fate and they just got punished.
They were pretty much just sandwiched in the jungle at that point because they just had no escape route available. There were heroes at the back, there were heroes on the right, there were heroes down the bottom. So there was pretty much nowhere for the Shadow Fiend to go unless he tried to maybe blink into the Roche pit, but I don't know if his blink dagger was on cooldown or if he was trying to go for a kill there. So a little bit of a weird play. Shadow Fiend gonna be dying again. He's died 6 times this game. Pretty rough game for the Shadow Fiend. He's not getting extremely big though, which is a little sad for him. He is one of the main cores on Execration, but they can always fall back to the Phantom Lancer, who has a double damage rune, and is going to be coming in from the backlines. Cloud, taking quite a bit of damage over time. BKB will be popped though, and they're going to go into the fight. Fox, that's a very, very dead chance. Supernova has been deployed. Underminer actually going to try and kill the Supernova egg. They're hanging around though, and Boombax, he's going to come into the fight. So they're going to go right after Cloud. Everyone else on the side of Underminer, they're just going to get out. Primal Split going to be popped. And who are they going to jump onto? Boombax is not the best hero to go onto. Yule's onto Bok. So that's not an easy kill on the Phoenix. And it looks like Underminer just going to try and get their Panda out of there safely. But, well, Primal Split's running out soon. And Shadow Fiend is nearby. But Blink Dagger should be off cooldown.
So them getting the troll kill is okay, to be honest, to just trade it off for 2 support lives. They did of course lose a tier 1 as well. I don't think it was denied. Yeah, Troll Warlord got the last hit. Supernova didn't do much of anything that fight, but Phoenix is almost there if he wants to pick up that Shiva's card. I think yeah, just purchased the recipe and is sending the courier towards the secret shop now, but it was, I think, all in all a weird decision still from Execration to just even go pick the fight with 2 supports being there. I mean, Fox just pretty much straight out died, didn't do much of anything. His creeps over decent mid lane. Yule sceptered up, but never mind. Just Yule scepter to guarantee a couple of last hits to get that 2.7k gold for the Mystic Staff.
Oh my goodness. That Mystic Staff. It's gonna be so important. So, the Shiva's Guard is now down on Bok. The Shivas in general, it's a great item. It's gonna be nice to help kite UDM, but I don't know, I feel like it's not going to have as much of an impact as you would like it to have. Like, yes, it's going to slow down UDM in general, movement speed and attack speed wise, but I feel like the Phoenix, he needs to build a little bit extra aside from just the Shiva. The extra armor for him is nice because it means that even though he might be a main target in the middle of the fights, he's going to have some extra armor himself and he will not be easy to take down. I'm just not too sure what the Phoenix could have actually built. I probably would have just said a Hex in general, just to actually shut down the Ember Spirit and the Troll Ward if either of them get too close to the Phoenix, but I'm not too sure. Bok knows what he's doing. His Midas is coming off cooldown and a fight may happen.
I think the Shivas is fine, and I just hope that the Hex will be the next choice, because they really need the Hex. This Ember Spirit is getting out of hand, has the Daedalus plus 1.8k afterwards, and this Roshan is just gonna go down before Execration can even react at all. It was like a matter of 5 seconds.
It literally just got decimated by the negative armor and all the damage output from UDM. So all of a sudden, Execration, they're on the back foot. They had such a good early game. The Phoenix had a godlike streak. And then now, look where he is now. He's just a Phoenix. He's not godlike. He's not a scary hero anymore to Underminer. They've got the items that they need. And all of a sudden, it's a very tied game. If you look at the graphs, it's roughly tied. EXP, it's exactly the same. Gold net worth, though, Execration only leading by 4k. That's very minimal at 30 minutes into the game. Very minimal.
It's just almost the tier 2 towers that are still left for Underminer to take down. If they get those towers down, it's more or less zeroed out completely. Also now Brewmaster getting close to his own BKB. SNY done on the Troll Warlord. They're really getting the items, and Troll, I'd say, is a hell of a lot scarier than the Shadowfiend is, to be honest, with farm. And not only that, it's also the Ember Spirit. He's just doing so much damage. Illusions, he doesn't care much about them, although, or I'd even say maybe he welcomes illusions just to get more cleave damage going. I don't know, this Ember Spirit is so scary. More than 2k ahead of the Shadowfiend now. Execration though, looks like they may go for a kind of a desperation push on the top lane, just try to get the Rax advantage. It's also Chen, he is not just providing much to the team, especially that now that there's an Aghanim's ancient apparition on the field.
Yeah, that Aghanim's is so annoying for Chen. Chen wants to be that a healer's team as soon as he can, but when you have that ultimate pop by the ancient apparition, what can you do? You just got to hold it back, wait for the duration, hope your team actually survives the duration of the ice blast, because if they don't survive, what's the point of your heals afterwards? They're going to try and jump onto Kang though. He might be in trouble. Do they have enough disables? Yes they do. Wicked 6 streak taken away from Ember Spirit. Shadowfiend's going to actually gobble that all up, and all of a sudden he's sitting on 3.1k gold. How much actually did he get from that, from the bounty? We'll see what it says after the fight recap appears eventually.
Supposedly a pick-off like that may not be a fight, I don't know. Fight recap, please!
Oh, here it is. Latest fight recap ever.
I think it waited for the Ice Blast duration to end, probably.
Ah, okay. 757.
Not too bad for a single pick-off like that. Not quite 1.6 thousand, but even then, it's just slowing the Ember Spirit down, and suddenly there's only a 700 difference, whereas it used to be about 2,000 between the Shadowfiend as well as the Ember. But Primo, he is gonna finish up that Eye of Skadi now as well, just tank up. The slow is gonna be so-so, it's gonna be kind of useful, but not all that massive up against an Ember Spirit, for example. I mean, he has the Remnants, he has Light of Fist anyway.
Yeah. Well. Oh, never mind. I actually thought something was coming. But on the courier, Eye of Skadi just finished up in Primo. Big item. So Shadowfiend, he's going to be super tanky. He is going to provide a slow for his team. It'll be nice to help kite around the Troll Warlord. Yes, you have a BKB, but Skadi, it still goes through that BKB. That's going to be a good item pickup for the Shadowfiend as well, just because if you try and jump on the Shadowfiend, he's incredibly tanky. He will have the Yule Scepter there if he needs to delay time for his team. BKB, Requiem Assaults, that's pretty much all he has to do. Whereas they need to just make space for the PL. If you look at PL's farm, he's got 4.5k gold. He's not spending it. He's only got a Yashat Drums, Treads, and Diffusal Blade. Nothing big on him yet. What do you think the PL's going to go for HP items next? Or do you think he might just go for DPS items?
I'd probably finish up a Manta style and maybe then look for a Heart of the Rask. I think the last Phantom Lancer I saw went even for a Satanic instead of the Heart. Which probably isn't even that bad of a decision, although then again, lifesteal up against Ancient Apparition is gonna be probably useless. And boy, speaking of Ancient Apparition, might be in trouble if Chemo finds him. He gets the Blink Hex, should have the Earth Spike as well as the Finger of Death to follow if necessary. Finger of Death is used, but the swap out! Is there gonna be an Ice Blast? Oh, you sure as hell bet that there is. Primo, he goes in with the BKB, they blow up the support, but they need more, boys. Just Urn of Shadows himself up and TP's out. Or runs away,
One for
rather.
one so far. Yeah, 1 for 1, both supports going down. So it was a nice save from the vent, but actually, are we going to see someone in trouble? Boombash still trying to run away. He's not going to get slowed up by the Troll Warlord, luckily, so he's going to make a getaway. Cloud, though, going to be upset that the range for that is not longer. But I think they're going to go for this top T2 tower. It is exposed, and big ultimates are actually down. Requiem of Souls in particular, the big ultimate for Primo is down. Supernova Egg is still available. No Hand of God, though, for 50 seconds. Although this is an Ag's God and Hand of God as well. And actually, Cloud going to give his life away just to actually grab the tower. It's a little bit scary. Is his BKB up? I think it is. Yes, it is. They're going to go right into the tower. They want the tower. They're going to leave. And actually, Shadow Fiend, he will be ensnared in place. There's going to be the ultimate coming out from our Ancient Apparition. Does Execration really want to fight them, though? This will be a very weird fight. They're going to keep on chasing. Ember Spirit's actually here still. He's going to try and Remnant into the trees, and looks like he might be safe. Or is he going to actually get out? Oh, he's going to be hexed. He's got no mana either. Kang, he's in trouble with his team. They just left him to die. That's a dead Ember Spirit. Very, very dead.
He just got a little bit too greedy, had the remnants just behind. Had he just let them loose towards his own base, maybe could have escaped. But of course, really well done by the Lion as well, finding him even between the trees. They're getting the hex like that. So they get one important kill. Maybe they can force a buyback now, although they have an Urn of Shadows with a couple of charges. Only one charge unblocked while he uses it, and immediately after Ice Blast into Primo. So Primo, he's gonna have to run all the way back home. There is a potential for him to sell power threads and purchase the Boots of Travels, but this Ice Blast is just making it so annoying for them to do much of anything pushing wise.
Yeah, well, think about it. They've got a very healing-oriented draft. You have the Phoenix, who has a Sunray, which is percentage-based healing, plus you have the Urn, and then the Chen, who also has the Hand of God. So typically, if you're going up against this draft and you did not have an AA, Execration would be able to be a self-sustaining team because they have so much healing all around from their heroes, but because of this AA, it's pretty much disrupted their tactic of having all of this healing. So unfortunately for them, they just can't really go into Underminer's base unless they're fully healed without being hit by that Ice Blast. There is a smoke though coming out from Underminer. They want to catch somebody. Who would actually be the easiest target? Looks like Boombass might be the target if he's not careful. Going to run right into the troll. There's going to be the Wave of Terror. They have vision. He's actually going to try and doppel walk into the trees. TP and by our Shadow Fiend. That was with the Boots of Travel as well. BKB has been deployed. Blink forward. They really want Boomback, so he has a doppel walk coming off cooldown. It is off cooldown now. Trying to actually save himself. Going to go right into the trees. There's a TP. Can they cancel out the TP? Primo is going to actually let loose a Requiem of Souls. Really going to only connect onto Cloud, but doesn't really matter. They get the kill on Cloud. Boys, unfortunately, in trouble. AA is going to go down as well. CK, he cannot TP out. He's going to be used up into the air. And actually, we have Kang to the rescue. Can he kill these heroes? There's a blink forward by Primo. They get the kill on the Venge. And looks like JNY looks like he's going to be safe. He did blink out. BKB on cooldown. No one can really pursue after him. But 3 down for Underminer. Whereas Execration, it's just that Lion.
That was a really awkward fight, and I really didn't expect it to go that way at all for Execration. I thought them initiating, even though Boombax was trying to TP out, or well, rather he TP'd out, I thought it's gonna be a mistake, but it was just the Ember Spirit not being there. Ember Spirit is also a huge part of their damage, and I'm not too sure if Troll had the BKB on cooldown or why he didn't pop it when he saw the Requiem coming in. But that just cost them a little bit too much, and now suddenly it's gonna be a high ground push for them. Puck with the Sunray just heals the heroes back up, and well, they even have 2 Ancients there. Ice Blast is flying, but it's gonna not connect on Primo. He might still be in some trouble, but at least he's not under the Ice Blast.
He's actually going to have to use himself up into the air. He really wants to get his Blink Dagger off cooldown, but he's going to pop the BKB. They really want the top T3 tower. It's going to go down. Troll, though, he is alive. Does Underminer actually try and contest these heroes here? Blink forward by JNY. It's going to send Bok and Fox flying in the other direction. Now, these 2 heroes, they're still being chased. Shadow Fiend in the base. He dies. I'm not too sure what he was doing in the enemy base, but Fox is going to be the next one to go down. Bok is still hanging around nearby. TP is available. I think he's going to be going for what seems to be a Hex with this. He's got an ultimate orb, but the fight is still going. Boombax, he might be in trouble. Doppel walk onto the high ground. Nice play, but actually there's going to be the ultimate coming out from our Ancient Apparition. So this PL, he might actually die here. I don't think he actually is. He's even going to pop the Doppel walk, although I don't even think that negates the effect of the Ice Blast. Actually, he might be in trouble. Very close. Oh, he dies! He dies! In the fountain.
Ice Blast OP. It's one thing I also don't really understand is why they went for a split push. Had they just focused on one lane, they would have gotten both or one easy set of racks for sure, I think. They did still get an advantage. Range racks down, also the tier 3 in the mid lane, so racks will be exposed. But they lost quite a bit for it as well, so I think they could have gotten away with it a little bit cleaner there. But there is a Lincoln Sphere now in the Ember Spirit, so there's no Blink Hex to screw him up. And also, the Shadow Fiend, he was in the enemy base because he got swapped in by the Vengeful Spirit. It was also after the BKB wore off, so they knew there's nothing to really defend them. But once again, CK and Cloud go into Roche Pit together, get the Roshan. It's Aegis plus Cheese now. They've gotten all Roshans so far, I believe. Execration just hasn't been on point with timing those or disrupting it. So it's just another advantage to Underminer in the fight, but Execration, if they take a fight like last time around, even the Aegis and Cheese may not matter.
Yeah. We'll have to see how it goes for the moment though. If they can actually get these team fights up and going in their favor, then they can definitely go for their own kind of push. They do have a pretty good push lineup. They have the Troll who has the Battle Trance, which is also going to help the Ember Spirit and that Brewmaster as well when it comes to hitting those towers. So Underminer, I don't want to count them out yet. I do not want to count them out yet. Their Brewmaster though, he is starting to run out of utility. He is starting to really phase out as this game goes later. So J and Y doing the best that he can, but he cannot be as much of an impactful hero as he basically once used to be, just because Brewmaster, as the heroes get stronger and stronger on the side of Execration, they can just kill the Brewmaster Pandas. And what can J and Y do? They're pretty squishy. You're pretty much only going to be using them for spells at that point. And ultimate coming out from our Chen. Not too sure what that was supposed to heal up.
He kept his ancients alive.
Oh, okay. I guess it's okay with the low ultimate there because of the Ags.
It's probably not too bad. At the moment though, Kang wants to go in, gets a Searing Chains out the block, but doesn't really accomplish much of anything. The mech comes out. They have a Hex now on Phoenix as well, so that's huge, but Kang then again has a Lincoln Sphere on him. So Phoenix he has to use and then Hex if he wants to just go for the Ember Spirit.
Does Urn actually cancel out Lincolns as well? I don't think it does.
It shouldn't. Maybe it does. It shouldn't really, although it may.
I don't think it does.
I don't know.
You think so? just kind of shrug at me. I don't know. Okay then, Coucher, I see how it is.
It probably won't, but it's hard to say.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does. I play a lot of Urn on my supports, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
Would be one of the cheapest ways to probably cancel it. Then again, I mean, you would have to have charges for it as well, of course.
Yeah.
Ember Spirit might find himself a Chen, and indeed he will, unless Chen does a miraculous TP out. He's not even gonna attempt. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna get out. Or do they want to fight this? No Boombacks? Just run in with a Spirit Lance and running back out just as fast.
Yeah, well, what can he really do though? There were two heroes there, and unfortunately for Boombacks, yes, he's a PL, yes, he's powerful, yes, you have a butterfly, but you're not that powerful yet. You're going to be elusive, but I think he needs a lot more items than what he currently has. He didn't go for your Manta style suggestion, he went for a butterfly, which is very interesting. He is hitting pretty hard now, but he's still pretty squishy, which is a little bit of a concern, especially when you're going to be running so many illusions up against a Ember Spirit who has Cleave.
It's just Ember Spirit in general, like super late into the game. It's just going to get to the point where Ember Spirit kind of one-shots almost anybody. But Phantom Lance does go for that Manta style now. Sunray is being used. Of course, Spock loses quite a bit of health himself using that Sunray like that. But they lose a tier 3. Can they hold on to the Rex though?
I think they might be able to, but Chen, he just came off the respawn timer, so it looks like Underminer are going to back off. They're thinking about it. They're kind of hanging around. Kang, though, he's still trying to throw out as much harassment as possible, but never mind Cloud. He has other plans, going to jump right onto Primo. BKBs have been popped, but Yules are still available if they require it. And there's a nice swap coming out from CK, so that's going to save Cloud's life for a little bit longer, but Venge, she's not going to be alive for very long. Aegis has been popped on our Troll Warlord. There's the blink forward into the Primal Split coming out from our Brewmaster. They're going to continue on fighting Kang. He's in trouble. He doesn't have cheese. He needs to get out of here. Being chased up by these PL illusions and boombacks. He really wants to kill onto Kang. Kang trying to use his illusions, but unfortunately he will drop down. 2 down for Underminer, although Cloud, he's going to be the third one to drop down too. Oh my goodness, that fight did not go in the way of Underminer. They're going to lose one more. JNY, he is going to go BKB TP out, so he's going to be completely fine, but they lose 3 core heroes. Sorry, they lose 2 cores, they lose a support, and they only get a T3 tower.
I think most of it was set up by that swap. Troll having the Aegis, I think there was no immediate need for you to swap him out. I think he kind of went in there intentionally, knowing that he has the backup of the Aegis. That just kind of meant that the Vengeful Spirit dies immediately. Cloud ran back in. Oh, Primo though, he's gonna go down top lane. Went there a little bit too soon, or is he Yule Scepter? Requiem Souls Cloud. They're gonna get the kill again on Troll. Or are they? He is dodging a little bit, but finally will go down. That's a dieback. JNY does pop the cheese, I think, to stay alive. Phoenix, he's gonna lose his life. Does have buyback if necessary, but that's a dieback on Troll.
Yes, and Troll's going to be down for 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's a very long time, especially when you have Execration knocking on your door. And Troll's one of their main DPS. They need that Troll Warlord. The Battle Trance does not really help out Kang because attack speed doesn't really help you when you're going to be in the Sleight of Fist. But it's going to help. It just helps the Troll Warlord. They need the Troll to be at the front lines. They need someone to keep Kang safe because we saw what happened during the fight. Kang got hexed, he got disabled, he's still squishy. 2k HP, you got a Lincoln Sphere, but who cares? There's so much stuff on Execration that they can really use to cancel out the Lincoln Sphere that Lincoln's is a nice item if you're trying to avoid being ganked. But in a team fight, there's going to be so many spells thrown out that it doesn't really matter even though you might have a Lincoln Sphere or not.
It's just so many 4-staff Yule Scepters, like almost anybody has something to cancel it with. Although no Yule Scepter anymore on the Shadow Fiend has replaced it with a butterfly of his own. And of course, there being 2 butterflies on the field for Execration. Ember Spirit, he's going to go for a Monkey King bar next. But Brewmaster, well, he's also pretty damn close to getting his AC finished up, which is definitely going to help out in the tankability of the Brewlings and in general their team. But if he goes for it, he's not going to have buyback either, and at the moment, the Brewmaster as well as the Ancient Apparition are the only ones to have buyback.
Yeah. The 2 cores on the side of Underminer, both of their buybacks are now on cooldown for 5 minutes, so it's up to them to not die for 5 minutes. They cannot afford to lose those heroes unless they're going to get a favourable trade. In particular, getting Execrations, Raxes, that's going to be their goal, but I think they're just going to wait for the next Rose turn, or they're going to wait till their buyback status is off cooldown. Because they really need Cloud, they really need Kang. They cannot afford to have these heroes off the map, because if these 2 heroes are not on the map, where's the damage coming from? Ice Blast is nice and all, you still need to get the heroes down low enough to actually reach the threshold. Venge, she's just there for support at this point. If anyone is in trouble, in particular Kang, the swap will be there, keep him alive for that little bit longer and hopefully turn the fight in your favour. Brew, he's just going to be there for stuns, cyclones, and, well, I guess burning. That's about it.
So, if you're vengeful, do save your swap like almost 100% for the Ember Spirit, or... Of course, it's kind of situational at times, but if it's like a 5-on-5 team fight, Troll Warlord should have a higher success rate in surviving with that BKB Satanic, to be honest. But then again, we did see him go down even with the Satanic without being able to do much of anything.
I thought he didn't have the Satanic during that fight. Oh, maybe I wasn't.
He had it.
Maybe it was just
he definitely had it when he died top lane after having bought back.
Oh, top lane. Yep. Okay, I forgot top lane. I thought you meant in the mid lane when they had that.
I'm not sure if he had it finished by that time as well, but he most certainly had it after the buyback.
Okay, so we have the courier, the Dire Courier. It's getting ready to go for a flight pattern to the secret shop. They're actually thinking about it. They're going to send it back now. It's got some pretty big items on it. It's got the gem, it's got 2 javelins, 4 Kang, so he is going to go for MKB. It's going to arrive, I think he can have it now if he really wants to, but actually, I think if anything, he should just buy it now since he has no buyback anyway. For 3 minutes, no buyback on Kang at all.
Yeah, that might be the item as well that gives you that extra bit of damage that you need to really win the team fight as well. But we do have a Heart of Tarrasque now picked up on the Phantom Lancer. It is flying out to him and probably gonna get rid of the drums for it. You kind of need to carry a
Probably.
TP at all times just in case.
Yeah, unless he decides to change out the boots for boots of travels, then at least you won't have to worry about the teleport scroll anymore. But
Oh, yeah,
he will drop the
screw
TP.
TP scroll. Roshan is up as well. They have pushed Underminer back into their own base. Courier will scout out Roshan, yeah. Going, has a TP scroll on it as well. But the Roshan should be fast enough. Do they have an AC on anybody? They do not.
Yeah, so it looks like Execration going to take an easy Roshan. I think they're going to hang around a little bit longer though. Phoenix dropping very low.
He might get chased down by Kang. Oh no, Kang finds Chemo. Random sleight of fist into the trees. Chemo will still be safe, I think. Yeah, he backed off in time. Roshan being attempted now by Boombax as well as Fox there. Boombax is tanky, but it's not all that fast. And again, it might go unnoticed.
Oh my goodness, look at all these giant granite golems. There's 3 of them too. And though he goes for the Blinken. There was a clap as well. So this is going to actually pause the Roshan attempt. Cloud is going to come in. Who does he want to jump on though? There's all of these ancients standing nearby. And well, I think that's just a wasted panda split. Actually, they're going to try and jump onto Phoenix. But while Roshan's still happening, Boombax is there with all of those ancient creeps, and Chemo and Fox are nearby. Oh, I think Underminer is just going to have to give it away at this point. Ice Blast going to come in, going to connect onto 2. Chemo is so dead. That's a very dead Lion. Bok, though, on the other hand, bit of a different story. He looks like he will be able to survive, but the team fight looks like it's going to happen. Primo, he is going to be jumped on. Requiem solves JYN, no Primal Split. He already used it. He's dead. Cloud, though, he's dying to all these heroes and the creeps as well. He's dead. No buyback. AA, 4-star forward, not going to keep him alive. The only heroes left available are CK, who is still running away, and he will die anyway. And Kang, the lone survivor, the one-man army. Can he defend his base by himself?
Probably not, I'd say, but then again, who knows? They have an Ice Blast now as well, so it might work out with some massive cleave crits coming out for him. But Ice Blast will get dodged for the most part. Boombax just runs out of it smartly so. This is gonna be at least a 2x advantage, if not 3 now. None of the heroes that are dead have buyback. Even the heroes alive would not have buyback. So that was a huge fight, and Underminer, they had Kang just on the top lane because Primo was pushing that one in, but I don't think he had a Remnant close to the Roche pit, whereas Boots of Travels were there for the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah. Well, Troll Warlord can buy back in about 15 seconds. He has enough gold for it, so it will give him a little bit of extra time to try and salvage the base, but I feel like it's a little too late at this point. They lost too many crucial heroes. They're losing their entire base. They cannot defend unless their core heroes are up. I think it was just that weird fight from Underminer where they preemptively used the Brute Split when no one followed up at all. That may have been a lot of the team fight control down, but Fox, he's going to be taken down by Cloud. Although JYN is trying to fight after Primo. There's a split. There's a blink out from Primo, so he's fine. Phoenix are used up into the air. He's actually going to dive all the way around. Huh. So it looks like Phoenix will die here. Gonna throw the Skadi. Hex is available, so if the Panda actually runs out of that split duration, he's dead, but never mind. Phoenix is down 3 for 1, but it's Mega Creeps. Oh, Boomback's still fighting, but he's dead too, with the Aegis.
Well, there is assistance coming. Shadow Fiend coming back in as well. Maybe a mistake, maybe not. Boombax uses the doppelganger and, well, yeah, Boombax is dead. Gets stunned up once and that should be enough to get the kill. Primo winds up the Requiem, but it's not gonna be enough to kill anything. Satanic delivered out, but he just gets bashed by the Troll, but Death Requiem gets Troll down, and I think with the Troll dead, there goes the only hope of just counter GGing this out.
Yeah, it's Mega Creeps as well. Kang unfortunately can't be around the map all at once, so it's gonna be a bit slow. And oh, you have a DC at Mega Creeps.
It's usually, most people would argue that there's no point in pausing when he's dead anyway, but this being a situation where almost the only just possible way for Underminer to win is just go straight down like any lane and go for the Ancient. Them letting this just go unpaused may have kind of telegraphed that, okay, he does not have buyback anyway, but it's probably not.
But then if you unpause though, yeah, but if you unpaused it, I think it might be a giveaway that doesn't have buyback. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that's like one of the reasons why they probably kept it paused. Most of the times, when it's like during the middle of the game, when it's not important if you have buyback or not, you just leave it unpaused if you know he's coming back fast anyway. But yeah, this time around it was definitely a pause just to make sure that Underminer has no idea about the buyback situation.
Yeah. Oh well, there's still buyback on the heroes of Execration, so even though Underminer might try and go for that death push down the middle lane, all of these heroes can come
We do
back
have a
early.
rapier on
Wow.
the Ember Spirit, and with a cleave, he can combat supersized mega creeps. But
Kang. Kang, what are you doing? I saw an Aegis yesterday. Sorry, not Aegis. Or your Divine Rapier yesterday. We'll see if this actually works out for Kang though. The cleave with when you have the Divine Rapier, the damage is deadly. If Execration stick together, they may potentially die to cleaves, but we'll see if this actually pays off for Kang. I think he may have also just bought it to clear the creep wave because he's not able to clear the creep wave with one sleight of fist before the Divine Rapier anyway. So now that he has it, it's much easier, but I'm pretty sure Execration are aware of it now though, because Kang's not hiding this at all. He is hanging on to it and he is trying to push the lanes out with it. He might run into a lion though, Chemo. Very cute play. Gonna try and hide into the trees. They want to get ready to kill Kang. This is Divine Rapier Kang as well. If he gets caught, this is gonna be big trouble. Run it back. Good plays. Very quick reaction. Kang cannot afford to lose the Divine Rapier.
I think Lion showed himself a little bit too early as well. Didn't quite properly wait for the end of that sleight of fist, I think. But they know it. If they just get a hex on him, that might be straight out GG, of course. Does anybody even have the space to fast just quickly pick up that rapier should it hit the ground? Lion does have one slot, so might see a Lion Rapier coming in if they get the kill.
Lion Rapier. Divine Lion. What a name. What a title. Just any hero that's Divine Rapier, just Divine Hero. Oh, there's creep chasing after the courier. Oh, that Ogre Bruiser.
The greed, the bruiser, man.
Look
But-
at him though, he looks menacing.
Well, depends on who you are probably, but that club definitely isn't gonna tickle you. That's for sure.
Oh my goodness. Looks scarier than Ogre Magi in all honesty. It's
Aw.
one thing when a creep looks worse than the hero. Not worse, but it looks scarier.
Oh, Ogre does look kind of cute, so yeah, I suppose
Yeah.
so.
I don't think you want to die to something cute though.
Yeah, that's why the bruiser looks more menacing than the Ogre.
The bruiser's still there. CK's like, what's this creep doing in our base? Just kind of sitting there like a ward. No one's touching it either.
Underminer are thinking it's a structure. It's
So
an
moving effigy.
Ogre bruiser effigy.
with animation, like movement
Nobody will
animation.
ever know.
Something.
It's like in movies, gargoyle statues for the most part come to life. It's just an effigy come to life, easy.
But this one walks and it actually hit things. Oh my goodness. It's just pretty much scouting out Underminer's base. They're not doing anything about this.
Well, we do have an item upgrade now for Primo, although, well, he sold something, so he's not gonna have enough for buyback should he die. So I think for Execration, the easiest way to throw this game is buy up items, do not leave enough for buyback, and just kind of lose a fight and lose the game. But that for all of that to happen, Underminer need to really just play this perfectly, and Execration need to make mistakes.
Well, essentially, Execration just has to pull an Underminer from last game. We saw what happened last game, so we'll see if it's actually going to be the same case, and actually Bokhi will be stuck in place because of the stun. He is just going to pop the Shiva's Guard and head back out into the safer part of the world. Underminer, they're trying to find any sort of pick-off. They really need it. They're up against mega creeps. It's incredibly painful. Their supports can't really do anything themselves. The cores are the only ones that can really hurt these creeps. They hurt. They really hurt. 133 HP, sorry, 133 damage per range creep. Then you have the 100 damage per melee mega creep. So, unfortunately, CK and Ancient Apparition, they're going to have to sit at the very back lines, cannot afford to expose themselves one bit.
So, we do see Maelstrom on Cloud. They really are trying to do anything they can. But it's... well, they even smoke up now. They have pushed out the lanes a little bit apart from the bottom lane, but they're just going to leave the Ember Spirit to deal with that one. They have Boots of Trails on Ember this time around as well. The one thing is that I don't think the Troll... well, yeah, never mind. Doesn't have the Helmet of the Dominator anymore. Of course, this is Titanic now. They do not have a creep for the Ember Spirit to TP to with those Boots of Travels like Execration do with the Chain Creeps. So they're still gonna have to like smoke around the Ember Spirit, and it might be kind of obvious.
Looks like they want to try and secure the Roche Pit. Roshan will actually respawn in about less than a minute. Kang, He is exposed, turned into a piggy. He's going to be okay. Boomback, so he does manage to disjoint the stun with the Manta style. Going to go forward there with the ultimate from the Ancient Apparition. Not going to connect onto anybody, but Supernova deployed and Underminer. They're just going to disperse in pretty much every direction. TP back home. Ping's coming out, but no one's going to chase after the heroes. They're just going to go and sit in the safety of their base.
So at the start of game 2, the draft, I asked you if this game is going to be just as long as game number 1. Answer, it's longer. We are now about 3 minutes past the point that when game number 1 ended, I believe.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Very long
one thing I'm pretty sure of is that this is not going to be a record-breaking game, though.
No. It shouldn't be.
I hope it's not going to be.
I hope you brought pillows, Coucher. You might be here for a while. Maybe a hot chocolate as well. You might need
I'm gonna die of hunger if we stay here for 3 hours.
Oh yeah, I'm hungry too. I haven't eaten dinner yet. Oh well. We'll see how it goes for the moment though.
A good midnight snack for you later then.
Midnight, yeah, pretty much midnight. Have dinner at 12 o'clock at night, maybe even 2 in the morning if we go for the record-breaking game. And it's also game 3.
Oh, top
Kang, they're taking a lot of damage. Wow. Oh, that's close.
Ice Blast, had it come out like a couple of seconds earlier, maybe Ember Spirit would have felt comfortable enough, but 2k health really isn't that much. 12 armor, you would think it's enough, but not all that massive. I mean, if you look at Boomback sitting on 29 armor, just because, well, your agility gain is crazy, as a butterfly as well, and he is gonna have an AC on top of that, so they aren't capped out quite yet, although, well, I suppose Phantom Lancer and Shadow Fiend are. The others still have room for improvement, and we're gonna have a Refresher Orb Phoenix coming out now.
Double Supernova, it's not bad. It's not too
Double
bad.
Hex is probably the thing he's aiming at.
Yeah. I think though it's still going to be the double Supernova as well, because it pretty much tells Underminer you either decide to kill the Supernova egg, or you pretty much disengage our team. Because if they cannot kill the Supernova egg, they're all going to be stunned even through BKB, so I feel like it's also the Supernova as well. Oh, Kang! Kang's dead! That's Jaeger's. That's not Jaeger's. What dropped? Divine Rapier on the ground. CK! He wants to grab it. Kang. He's going to actually reclaim it. Never mind the Supernova. They're going to leave the Divine on the ground though. It's still on the ground. Who has it got? Who got it? Kang managed to get his Divine Rapier back. 2 heroes down for Execration. Buyback for the Shadow Fiend though. And actually, these little babies from our poor little panda, trying to do whatever he can, but looks like the panda will die. Can they make the defense so Ancient? It's under siege very soon. 1 T4 tower left. Cloud is doing whatever he can to try and salvage the game. There's going to be the blink from JYN. There's a Supernova. There is no Refresher Orb though, so Supernova Egg is going to go down. Buyback is available with it. Primo is still alive. This is Divine Rapier on Kang. This fight is happening in the Underminer base. These creeps are still hitting on the Ancient, so even though Underminer might win the fight, these Ancient is taking so much damage. Primo is focusing it down. Underminer, unable to salvage the game, and they are going to call the GG as well. Congratulations to Execration. They win this series 2-0 in 50+ minute games. Oh.
That just 1 Hex got the Ember Spirit down, and although he managed to just barely reclaim that Divine Rapier after just buying back, it didn't matter because he was so low on health, had to go all the way back home, and like you said, just the creeps swarming in at that point already into the Ancient. So really well done. Shadow Fiend also, ever since he picked up the Daedalus, suddenly damage output was so high from him. And also Boomback's Phantom Lancer, he was just doing whatever he wants. There was always a mass army of illusions there, even though there's like a cleaning Ember Spirit and everything. So Execration, take this 2-0. This game number 2 was definitely more convincing for the most part, although mini throws happened every now and then, but in the end, Execration take this 2-0, advance to the semi-final of the upper bracket. Underminer do have to continue from the lower bracket, but their chances are not just gone quite yet. But of course, as always, I appreciate it that you tuned in, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed the games as well as the casting, and if you did, you can follow HeflaTV for more content on Facebook and Twitter, HeflaTV for both. For the casters, it's at Coucher for me, at Danelie Casts for my co-caster. And any last words, Dani?
No, I don't think I really have that much to say. Execration, they definitely deserve to win the games that they do. They played, I don't want to say they played passively at all in either of the games. They were very aggressive. Their execution in those team fights were crisp. Underminer, I feel the only reason they lost the first game was because they made a couple of minor mistakes, which Execration completely capitalizing on, all of a sudden turning the game on its head, making the game even, and all of a sudden winning on top of on the back of a good team fight. Whereas this game, Underminer, they had a chance, but Execration, they just snowballed out of control. There was a chance when Underminer looked like they actually had a chance to come back, but well, that mistake happened, and Execration again just steamrolling all over Underminer's base. Uh,
So Execration 2-0 for them. They will meet either Elun. Oh, never mind, Arcanis. They won their game 2-0 as well. So it's gonna be Execration versus Arcanis, which is gonna be somewhat fun since Boombax and Bok are from Arcanis or were from Arcanis. So kind of a revenge match for the teammates that were left behind in the team, I suppose. But we'll see whenever they're gonna play that one out. We will most likely be here casting that anyway for you. But for now, we are done for the day, I believe. We might have something later on in the day as well at 20 CET, some European Division 1 and 2 playoffs, but if not, guys, just have a good one and hope to see you another day.